So you are scrolling, right? It's late. The algorithms got you in a weird corner of YouTube or TikTok. You see it, the clip of this guy.
Good evening, everybody. You're watching America First. My name is Nicholas J. Fuentes. Got a great show for you tonight. Very excited to be back here with you tonight on Thursday, Friday, Monday. Whoa. I feel like I'm going to throw up all of a sudden. My name is Nicholas J. Fuentes. We have a great show for you tonight.
Almost seems like enemy number one to the government.
What's up, guys? I'm here with the notorious Nick Fuentes. It's a very interesting guest because you are so vilified. I kind of believed it and fully believed it. I remember hearing like you're Nazi, white supremacist. The only thing I saw was negativity about you. It was this negativity, and you had no voice. You were banned from literally everything.
It's tough. It's weird. The youth in the right wing of America becomes indifferent to Israel, then they are truly alone. This is a scandal about a Jew from Israel, might as well be from Israel. But also, I believe the freedom on TikTok is why it was so successful. It was simply better.
You see a guy, kinda young in a suit, saying something you ever only seen, typed in asterisk, and the comments are not what you would expect. No outrage. Just thousands of people agreeing, using inside jokes you don't get.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
It feels like you have found a back room in the internet. This isn't the cringe, angry politics your uncle watches on TV. This is different. It's ironic, it's meme heavy, and it's speaking a language Gen Z understands. The guy's name is Nick J. Fuentes, and a few years ago he was a total nobody. Now he's the unofficial leader of a huge underground movement. But the question isn't if he is popular. It's why, and a big part of the answer starts with something that seems totally unrelated: Israel.
The Nazi propaganda minister said that the bigger the lie, the faster it will spread. Well, somebody has fabricated a monstrous big lie that Israel had something to do with Charlie Kirk's horrific murder. This is insane. It is false. It is outrageous. Charlie Kirk was a giant, a once-in-a-century talent who defended freedom, defended America, defended our common Judeo-Christian civilization.
First, you got to understand the vibe. Nick didn't build his audience by going on CNN. He built it the way any Zoomers influencers does, with relentless streaming. His show, America First, is like a political podcast mixed with 24/7 Discord call. It's not formal. He is not trying to convince your dad. He is talking to you, and he warps his ideas in a layer of irony and humor that makes it digestible. Say something edgy, it's just a joke, bro. But also, is it?
Who would you rather have run our country right now, your wife or Hitler?
Hitler! I don't have a wife, but if I did, she would not be fit to run the country. I could tell you that much. She can run the kitchen. She can't run the lawnmower. I'll put it that way. And I think anyone would. One's in the chat if you'd rather Hitler over your wife. Two's if you prefer your wife.
You actually said earlier that you think that the Holocaust is objectively wrong. Would you say
if it happened at all, by the way? But yeah,
okay, so
theoretically, if it happened, in theory. No, I'm kidding. Of course it happened. Of course it happened.
This aesthetic is everything. It creates an in-group and an out-group. If you get the jokes, you are in the club. If we get offended, you are the person the jokes are making fun of. It's a perfect defense mechanism. Okay, so here is where things get deep. For years, Nick was growing, but he was still a niche internet figure. Then, real-world events started to act like a magnet, pulling people toward him. And the huge one was the conversation around Israel. Think about it. For Gen Z, the media narrative on Israel is simple. It's a complicated issue, but America's support is a given. It's bipartisan. You are supposed to support it.
Were I a Jew, I would be a Zionist. My father pointed out to me I did not need to be a Jew to be a Zionist, for I am. Israel is essential to the security of Jews worldwide.
But I didn't come here tonight to pander to you about Israel. That's what politicians do. All talk, no action, believe me. I came here to speak to you about where I stand on the future of American relations with our strategic ally, our unbreakable friendship, and our cultural brother, the only democracy in the Middle East, the State of Israel. Thank you. My number one priority is to dismantle the disastrous deal with Iran.
But for a generation that's deeply skeptical of authority, that kind of anonymous agreement doesn't sound wise. It sounds suspicious. Why does the US send so much money? Why can't you criticize it without being called names? Nick didn't just criticize Israel, he focused on the double standard. He would point to the media and say, look, they call us nationalists, but they support a country that is explicitly nationalist for another group of people. They call us racist, but they support a state built on ethnicity and religion.
And I would criticize Ben Shapiro very harshly. He was very anti-Trump at that time. And I said, I think Ben Shapiro is Israel first. And I think that when Trump says in his inaugural, it's America first, why is it that Israel gets all this foreign aid? They're the number one recipient for 50 years. They're not a poor country. Why is it that much largesse?
He wasn't just making a foreign policy, he was holding up a mirror to American establishment and saying, your rules don't make sense, you are applying one standard to everyone else and a different one to Israel. For a lot of young people, feeling pushed out or called racist for wanting a strong national identity for their group, this agreement hits different. It doesn't feel like hate, it feels like pointing out a hypocrisy. Israel's action and the US response to them became the perfect real-world example to prove his larger point, that the system is biased against the kind of America he and his followers want. It was less about hating Jewish people and more about seeing Israel as the ultimate symbol of the approved nationalism, that his unapproved nationalism was being denied. It gave a concrete political focus to a feeling of alienation. So you have this perfect storm, a leader who speaks the internet's language and the real-world issue that makes his philosophy seems relevant. This creates a pipeline. Most of his followers didn't start as hardcore believers. They started by watching videos, making fun of cringe liberals. That leads you to people who criticize the media. And that criticism naturally leads you to question things like the stance on Israel or migration or COVID rules. The mainstream reaction to Nick Fuentes just makes him stronger. When news outlets call him a villain or white supremacist, they are using a script that his audience has already rejected. They are proving his point that the establishment will just name call you instead of debating you. It makes his community feel even more like an exclusive, persecuted group. They aren't trying to win a debate with MSNBC. They are building a separate reality with its own celebrities, its own jokes, and its own truth. And in the age of algorithm, that's sometimes all you need. So, is Nick Fuentes taking over Gen Z? It depends what you mean by taking over. He is not about to be elected president, but that's not the goal. The goal is to shift the overtone window, the range of acceptable ideas from the inside out. He is making ideas that were considered unthinkable a decade ago into inside jokes for millions of young people. Is he a villain? That's the easy label. It's more accurate to see him as a symptom of a generation that feels disconnected, distrusts every institution, and is looking for an identity. He didn't create those feelings, he just built the best clubhouse for people who have them. The real power of Nick J. Fuentes isn't necessarily his specific plan for America, it's his understanding of the internet as a place where culture is built, not just politics debated. He is not just a politician, he is a streamer, a comedian, and a community leader. And as long as the mainstream keeps failing, understand that his underground kingdom will keep growing. So what do you think? Is he a political movement or the ultimate shitpost? Let us know in the comments and subscribe for more deep dives to the internet's most confusing corners. Peace out.
Simple question. Think about it. If no country on earth is able to tell Israel what to do, what can we conclude about the earth? It's an easy question. Don't overthink it. If If every country in the world and all of its people want Israel to stop doing something, but no one can get them to stop, what can we logically conclude? What must we conclude about the world? I don't mean to perpetuate any anti-Semitic tropes, and I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but this is just like logical. Doesn't that seem to imply, wouldn't that tend to imply that Israel controls the whole world?